If you've seen me at one of the product demonstrations in the stores, I may have given you this cake pan right here. This is a paper cake mold. It's certainly oven safe. The only thing you would need to do would be to put it on a baking tray. So if for some reason you don't have this, other available cake pans you probably have in your kitchen would be this. This is an 8-inch metal cake pan. Or you could use something like this, which is called a springform pan. And what this is, the bottom of this collapses for easy removal when you do your cake. So either of these methods would work. But if you have one of these cake molds, that would be great. So now we're going to take the batter, pour it into the cake mold, and I have lightly sprayed this with cooking spray just beforehand. More than likely, you're going to just leave your cake in this paper cake mold. You probably won't be unmolding it, but if you have one of the other cake pans, you'll want to unmold that, so you'll need the cooking spray. So we're going to put the batter all in here. So for this particular pan, you'll notice the batter goes almost up to the top. Don't worry about overfilling it. This cake is not going to rise very far, so there's really no need to worry about it coming over the top. Basically, the metal pan is just to make sure that the paper doesn't burn in your oven. So there's your cake, and now it's time to put it in the oven. We're going to put it in the middle of the rack. We're going to set the timer for 30 minutes. And that'll be when we check for the doneness. And there we go. I think that was pretty easy. So now we wait 30 minutes to check for the doneness, and it could take as long as 45. So I do have one tip. If for some reason in your kitchen it takes up to an hour, then you need to call a professional and get your oven recalibrated. And if you haven't had that done before, you'll see how easy that is too. So that's the cake. So now we've come to step 9. We just finished putting the cake in the oven. In a few minutes, I'll show you what that looks like. But for now, I have a finished cake that's cooled for 15 minutes. You'll see that the top of it is slightly cracked. There's no need to worry. We're going to make it look great, and that is step 9. Basically, what I have here is more chocolate. We are going to put this again over the simmering water, as we did in an earlier step. The difference here is we're making what's actually called a ganache, and that means we're going to add a couple tablespoons of heavy cream. And in case you're asking, no, you can't use milk. If you use milk, you'll end up with hot chocolate instead of a nice creamy sauce for your cake. So we're going to put at least 2 tablespoons. You might need 3. So we'll see how that melts and adjust it if necessary. So this is going to be quick and easy. Once you put the cream in, it's going to melt pretty fast. So this will just take a couple of minutes. And you'll see it change before your eyes. It's going to get nice and glossy. So we'll give that another minute. Should have done that sooner. So you can check your stove here. See, it went a lot faster when we weren't watching it. And you can see it's starting to get darker in color. It's going to get nice and glossy. And this will be just enough to cover your cake, and then we're going to put some slivered almonds on top. And then you're going to have a cake that's going to wow your friends. We're almost there. So I think this sauce is just about there. It looks nice and glossy. Doesn't look like there's any lumps in there. But of course you're not going to be able to tell once we put the garnish on, but let's see how that works. Okay. So it's just a couple tablespoons, but that's all you're going to need. And just in case you're wondering if you want to skip this section, that's okay. It only adds 40 calories to your finished slice of cake, but it's going to be so worth it because this is what's going to take the cake from ordinary to something that's really a wow. So just take your spatula or a spoon, put it over the top. It's okay if you get a few little pieces like I did. No one's ever going to see it but you and me. I'm going to spread it around. And we're going to top it with these almonds. Now, a couple people have told me they thought I gave them too many almonds. I like almonds. If you don't like them so much, just use however much you feel is necessary, but I think it looks nice so that every bite gets a little bit of the almonds. So that's it. That's step 10. The next step would be to eat it. So now it's time to try this great cake. On the package, you notice that I said that this could feed up to 12 people. Now, for those of you who are chocoholics, you could really make this 8 servings. But for most of us, you probably want to have 12. And I've gone ahead and cut a slice, and I have someone here who's going to test it out for us. Hi, Jim.
Hey, how are you?
This is Jim Hines from University Electric over in Santa Clara. And come on down. They do chef demonstrations here on the weekends. They have a great showroom, and a big thank you for letting me come in your kitchen today.
Absolutely. Thank you for the cake.
Does it taste gluten-free?
Very good. Outstanding.
Great.
Great taste, great texture, wonderful all the way through.
Okay. So there you have it. A cake for your next holiday gathering, dinner party, or potluck. He's having a second piece.
Going back for more.
So it's been about 30 minutes. Let's check on the cake. As you can see, it's starting to crack around the edges. It'll probably crack more on top, but so far that's looking good. We'll check it again in another 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes. Let's check on our cake. As you can see, it's starting to crack a little bit more in the center. It's perfectly fine. I have a toothpick here. You don't need a fancy cake tester, but if you have one, that's great. Just stick it right in the middle. It should come out clean. And I don't think it's quite there yet. It's still a little bit, not quite as dry as I want it. So we're going to give this another 5 or 6 minutes and we'll check it one more time. It's been about 45 minutes. Let's check on our cake. I think it's going to be done. I can smell the chocolate. So let's take a clean toothpick. It's coming out clean. It's ready to go.